tonight's meeting. Our regular meeting session at 1.0 we have call to order. 2.0 roll call. Dr. Thomason.
President Whitener, please let the record show that all 5 board members are here and present tonight.
Thank you. We'll have our moment of silence and follow with the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, I just saw that you walked in. We could have used your help with that, but good to see you back there. I will go ahead and move that we approve the agenda tonight.
Second.
Is there any questions or comments? Those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Is that 5-0? Any opposed? I would like to recognize those gifts and donations that were part of tonight's agenda. And sometimes we have anonymous gifts, and we appreciate those. And those donations to our schools, we appreciate. 5.0, we have a request to speak to the governing board. Ms. Walker, do I have any requests at this time? Thank you. 6.0 is our superintendent's report.
President Whitener, if it pleases the board, I would like to start with a young lady that we would like to make a phone call with. So I would ask that Dr. Wong come to the podium and start with our young lady that we want to have our Points of Pride recognition for.
So we will go ahead and call her in. Is Dr. Wong here?
She was here.
Okay.
Absolutely. At this time, I'd like to invite to the stand Dr. Michael Fowler, who has some recognitions that he would like to present to some special people.
President Whitener, members of the board, Dr. Thomason, cabinet. First, I'm going to call Dr. Howell up from Higley High School, who has a very special student that he's going to recognize.
President Whitener, Governing Board, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Nicholas Stahl. Nick, if you would come up, please. And Nick had the opportunity this past summer to attend Boys Nation, which I found 2 things about this absolutely fascinating. One was what it takes to get to Boys Nation. Okay, he was one of 2 people selected for Boys State from Higley High School. And in preparation for this, I was wondering, well, how many high schools are there in the state of Arizona? So depending on what count you use, there's 400 to 500 high schools in Arizona, and you'll see the importance of that in a moment. But while he was at Boys State, he was elected by his peers to be governor. Okay? And after that, he demonstrated leadership, which led to his nomination and selection to Boys Nation. And he was one of 2 selected from the state of Arizona to attend Boys Nation. So if you take the 400 to 500 high schools, we ended up with one of two representatives at Boys Nation from Higley High School, and that was Nicholas. The other thing I found fascinating was just sort of an impromptu conversation I had with Nicholas and Ms. Hood in her office the other day, and just it would be riveting to listen to how it changed his life. Okay, you know, he expressed how it's opened his mind to a whole new level. If I'm not mistaken, you really haven't been out of Arizona, is that correct? That's correct. And then, you know, he's in a whole other part of the country, seeing how government operates, seeing just, you know, and so it was this lively conversation for probably 25, 30 minutes of, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life now. There's all these possibilities out there, and there's all these great things that are available to me, and I never knew that I had an opportunity to even look at these types of things. So at Higley High, we're just incredibly proud of Nicholas, and please join me in giving him a round of applause and recognizing him here at the governing board meeting tonight.
For the next recognition, I would like to call up Colonel McCarthy and Sergeant Altop and the other members of the Higley ROTC program. Some exciting news to share. The Higley Unified School District Combined High School Air Force Junior ROTC Drill Team earned the state runner-up title at the Championship Desert Classic Drill Meet held last spring in Phoenix. The state competition included 34 teams from across Arizona, including teams of Army, Marine, and Navy ROTC members. With the second place win overall, the Higley team is the best junior ROTC Air Force drill team in Arizona. Let's give them a round of applause. Of course, the drill team season, over the course of the drill team season, the team garnered more than 30 first, second, or third place titles in a variety of divisions. And at the end of the season, Higley High School's Nolan Macy was named the top ROTC cadet in the East Valley. Nolan, are you here today? Right here. Give him a hand. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Nolan's going to be attending the Air Force Academy. Joining the Air Force in about 2.5 weeks. So let's give him a round of applause for that as well. Last year, there were more than 125 students involved in our ROTC program, with 25 taking part of the drill team. Now I'm going to introduce to you Colonel McCarthy and Sergeant Altop that have some other details and news to share with the program.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Senior Master Sergeant Altop, the ASI Aerospace Science Instructor, and I want to introduce some of our members. Last year's drill team commander was Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Nolan Macy, and then our drill team commander this year is Cadet Captain Aaron Jensen. We also have Cadet Captain Denker and Cadet First Lieutenant Carly Foreman. They are our leaders this year in our drill team. So let's give those for the team. All right, one last thing. Last year, we ended up taking second. The year before that, we took third. Our goal this year is what? First place, folks. All right, steady progress. And our folks right here are going to take us there. Hoorah. Thank you.
One other thing that I'd just like to mention real quickly about before, and this is the first time we've said this publicly, and that was that our ROTC unit was distinguished unit last year for our ROTC. Big special thing to do. About community service, we had our goals, we met our goals, and we met all the restrictions or exceeded all the restrictions that our ROTC puts on units. Only certain units get that, or that's how many of us. So they did a great job doing that. And like the public is saying, both our principals, Dr. Wawa and Mrs. Hood, good support, and of course the district and board for support for our program. We really grew this year. We had 120 cadets last year. This year we got over 150. And the drill team went from 25 to about 36 this year. So thank you very much for your support.
Please bear with us just a moment while we get the phone call placed before we make the announcement. You have to speak directly into the microphone. You can say hello to the father. He'll probably answer.
Good evening, Aloria. Hi. Hi, this is Dr. Wong. We're so glad that you could get on the phone with us tonight. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have to do my greetings. So, pardon? Can you hear me, hon? Aloria? Aloria, can you hear me? You want me to come up there? Hi, Aloria. It's Dr. Wong. Hi, I'm glad you can hear me. That's awesome. Well, tonight we're here at the governing board meeting, and we wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to hear what was going on. So first let me say a greeting to President Whitener and the governing board, to Dr. Thomason and the cabinet. I'm very pleased and proud to be able to share with you somebody who is very special in our school at Coronado. Aloria Bounds is only 10 years old, and she might just be the most inspirational person I know. And this is read by Dr. Wong, but it's written by one of your teachers, Mr. Barnes. A truly endearing student, complete with an incredible demeanor, an amazing smile, and an intellect beyond her years. Aloria is the kind of student that facilitates any teacher's love of teaching and makes us keep coming back for more. She is a student who is always on time, always helps others, and always stands out with the quality of work she does and the effort she puts forward. I cannot recall a single instance in which Aloria has ever come into my classroom without a smile on her face, ready and willing to help out in any way she can. And yet, Aloria is a student fighting a battle that no child should ever have to fight. The bravery and the poise with which she carries herself is not something I would be capable of if faced with the same challenges, not by a long shot, and she is only 10. What an incredible blessing to have the opportunity to know and to witness the courage of this magnificent young lady. Aloria gives inspiration not only to those who are fighting the battle of cancer, but to those who simply struggle with everyday challenges. Thank you, Aloria. You are a true hero, and I cannot think of anyone more deserving of the Coronado Person of Pride Award than you. Just so you know, Aloria just had some chemo, and she is in the hospital right now fighting a fever. And so I want to share one more thing. It is from her student council sponsor. So she has been in student council for the last 2 years. Can you imagine that? She's a young woman who wants to give back to the community and serve in our school student council. And so this is what her sponsor said. The Brandon Moe quote, "Choices determine character," is exemplified by one of our Coronado students, Aloria Bounds. Aloria sets an example for other students to follow by consistently doing the right thing. She is always courteous, responsible, and friendly to the students and staff at Coronado. Aloria is very positive and constantly willing to help. She works hard in the classroom and can always be counted on to do her best academically. Aloria is a historian in the student council. She attends many events to help the school. She loves to draw. Even when Aloria is experiencing a challenge, she always sets an example and tries her best. Aloria, we're super, super proud of you. When you get back to school, we're going to present you with your certificate and your flowers, and so we're looking forward to having you back at school very soon.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Aloria. Thank you for taking our call.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you representing Coronado Pride. We wish you better. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.
We are also proud of some other folks on our campus. The next person I'd like to honor is one of our classified persons, and it is Billie Jean Wells. Billie Jean. Come on up, Billie Jean. She is one of the most energetic, hardworking people I know. Although she has a degree in architecture, she chooses to work in the field of education because of her love for children. As a mother of a special needs child, Billie's job as a one-on-one special ed aide does not end at 3 p.m. She is constantly working to find novel and stimulating ways to present materials that will capture the children's attention and help them succeed. If that isn't enough to fill her day, she also volunteers at Coronado as the treasurer and past president of our PTO. She organizes, attends, cleans up at all the school events and fundraisers. Fall Carnival, bingo, what's coming up this Friday if you want to come down to Coronado. cookie dough, restaurants, the holiday shop, to name a few. I could go on, but just to say it all, I am honored to be Billie Jean's colleague and her friend. She is an inspiration to us all.
My husband Eric, my son Cameron, my stepson Alex, and my stepson Steven.
The second part will be done by Mr. Griggs, our new assistant principal.
So the volunteer that we're going to be honoring tonight is Judy Selesky. Judy spends countless hours working in our library as a volunteer. Ms. Selesky has worked tirelessly in Coronado's library to assure that our students can be readers. She shelves books, helps with checkout, and makes recommendations to our students. With the recent reductions in our library services, Mrs. Selesky helped keep our library afloat as we have to switch back and forth between a librarian and a librarian clerk. She is constantly working to keep our library organized so students can access books at all times of the day. We are proud to claim Judy Selesky as a coyote. She is a selfless, tireless, and tremendous volunteer. Thank you, Judy, for all your hard work. All right. And then one more. And then the certified employee that we are recognizing is Sunny Braxma. Sunny is all in. When you think of a teacher who uses their litmus test of, is it best for students, that's how she makes her decisions. So, she will do whatever it takes to make sure that her students succeed, spending hours before and after school meeting with students to give them the tools that they need, whether it's in the classroom or on the court or the field or any other place where she's coaching, volunteering, all of that. She is a leader on campus who values the success of all students, not just her own, and sees the bigger picture with a desire to help make Coronado a better place for everyone. She is an excellent mentor to her grade level, modeling expertise and master teaching while doing so with her trademark care and humility. She is a knowledgeable teacher of teachers and a valuable resource for the entire Higley School District. I am honored to call Ms. Braxma a teammate and am privileged to name her as Coronado's Certified Point of Pride.
So at the board meetings, when we recognize our points of pride, we try to focus on 1 or 2 schools each meeting and then a district department. And so HR gets to be the first department of the year for the points of pride. And this evening, I'd like to recognize Tammy Navarro from the Human Resources Department. Tammy's been in the school district since 2007. Many people might not know that Tammy actually began as a bus aide. She then became a bus driver, and she did that job for 3 whole years. And then moved to the district office and has just been with us and hung in there through lots of change and turnover and different department reorganizations and configurations, was an admin assistant, a project specialist, an HR technician, moved up to an HR generalist, and with our new job description revisions, her new title is Human Resources Accountability Specialist. And part of the reason behind that title is she really is the person in our department that keeps us accountable. She does the departments for the state that are required of us to report on who is highly qualified. Numerous other reports that she can just run at the drop of a hat. She is the person who has some of the institutional knowledge that we completely rely on. Tammy can tell you, oh, yeah, that's Sheila. Well, she actually started in 2007, and then she moved here and here, and she can pretty much do that honestly with all 1,200 employees. You can say the name of a person, and she can tell you their story. So I greatly appreciate that she brings that to our department. She is calm, cool, and collected at all times. She gives exceptional customer service. She is her own worst critic, and almost to a fault. She owns her work, she loves her work, and does her best each and every day. So I'd like to call up Tammy.
Thank you for sharing those things. We have so many things to celebrate, and it's hard to share the whole district with those things. And we're very fortunate that we have such caring and dedicated people that help our students in programs, and that the district office is supported by each other too. I would like to excuse or fill if you need to go, if you have younger children at this time. We're going to proceed with more meeting procedural things, but don't feel like if you want to stay, you're welcome. But if you would like to take your younger children home, that's as well. Mr. Boys Nation, you probably want to stay for some good training. But I'm sure you have some really challenging homework to get done. I know. Dr. Thomason, if you'd like to go over our upcoming events.
Absolutely. President Whitener, members of the board, please note that after we finish the board meeting tonight, we start out tomorrow morning bright and early, 7:30, for our business partners breakfasts, followed by our East Valley Consortium's dinner in Mesa on Monday, August 31st. And then we have a holiday, the first holiday of the year coming up on Monday, September 7th would be Labor Day. And then Wednesday, September 9th, we do have a work study and a board meeting, along with a work study and board meeting on Wednesday, September 23rd. And that'll be the next events we have for the following month.
Thank you. Is there any board comments at this time?
President Whitener.
Mrs. Reese.
Getting in before Mr. Witovich. On Friday, I had the pleasure of spending the evening with Sossaman. They did their color run, and it was so much fun. We had a great time. Mr. Witovich wouldn't run, so I didn't run.
I was waiting for her to go first.
And we did determine that Nancy will look really good with red hair. We did determine that. It looked really nice, so anyway. Yes. So that was a lot of fun to be out there. And I did hear, just so the board's aware, that there will be a kickball tournament coming up, and that we are expected as a board to have a team. I'm just putting it out there now, thinking about it. So we've been asked to have a school board kickball team. So get your shoes on. Mr. Witovich, you got to run. So that was a lot of fun. And I wanted to just make a real quick comment. We were talking about leadership, and Dr. Howell was talking about the leadership that Nicholas had displayed and everything. And I witnessed something. I think leadership's all over our district, and I think it just happens because we have great teachers and great students. And I witnessed a athletic captain talk to their coach and say, hey, can you let me know if there's anyone I need to work with? Is anyone having a hard time in their classes? I'd hate for anyone to be ineligible to play. So please, can you review your roster? Let me know if I need to work with anybody. Unsolicited, just did it, came up and said, we're getting close to everything starting, and I don't want anyone to be ineligible. So to take that initiative, and that's just the leadership that we see within our district with these kids. It was just amazing because they don't want to see anyone not be able to play because of grades, and they said, I'll sit down and work with them whatever I need to. So I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was really great to see. So, and I think it just goes along with the other leadership skills that we've seen out of these kids. So that's all I have. Thank you.
I see there's a lot of great events coming up, and I think if some of the other board members want to go with me on Friday, Power Ranch has Power Splash, and it's a fun day. And I like to make this challenge to Mr. Hoffman and Mr. Little. The principal goes into the dunk tank. I will go into the dunk tank as well if one of you two come and join me, okay? I'm going to do this, okay? In the dunk, not at the same time, not at the same time, okay? But if you guys are welcome, let's do it. And then Centennial has an ice cream social, and we could join them to give ice cream. And then Higley High School has their first football game, so go Knights. So we're proud for that on that. So I'm watching you too.
I would just add that there's a group of parents that came together to go and do some painting and touch up at Higley High School. I don't know if any of them were here. I didn't get a chance to drop by to see the group of parents that were doing this, but it's really great to see parents in the district and the community come together and really look at finding ways to touch up the Higley High School. And we have a lot of budget constraints, so it's really great that they organized themselves, funded themselves, made it happen. So I just wanted to thank those parents and members of the community that came together and did that.
Thank you. Any others? Okay. 7.0, I move that we approve consent agenda items.
I'll second.
Is there any questions? Discussion for staff? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And please note that our meeting We did change from October 28th to October 21st. 8.0, there is no old business at this time. 9.0, we have action information items. 9.1 is discussion and approved name of new elementary school. So 9.1, the recommendation is that the governing board approves Bridges Elementary School as the name of the 9th elementary school in the Higley Unified School District.
Was that the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
So with the motion and the second, we can discuss or add any questions or comments. I think Christina Reese called that one. But I do know you did take input, and I do know district level discussed some of those things, but I think the thought is obvious, but is there any more discussion on that? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 No opposed? Congratulations, Bridges community. We now have a Bridges Elementary. And maybe we could do a little press release on that, yeah? Okay. 9.2, second read and approve amendment of A, policy AC, non-discrimination equal opportunity, and B, policy GBA, equal employment opportunity. I thought we'd put those all together. Okay, second.
Did you second it?
Yes.
So, President Whitener,
Mr. Hoffman.
this was something that we had talked about last time, and it was supposed to come back before us without that language. So I still am in favor of aligning with the statutory protected classes.
It was just brought back so we can
It was brought back because
have the,
to give the board, the whole board, an opportunity to leave it out. But we highlighted it, so bolded it so that it would stick out, and the board's free to adopt with or without that language.
so now we need to have a different motion then.
So, President Whitener. President Whitener.
Mr. Hoffman.
I'll move a substitute motion to approve the policy with the exclusion of the non-statutory protected classes that are listed in capital letters.
Mr. Ratovich made the original motion.
And I substituted it, so it just needs a second.
I second that. My concern was these substitute motions are, I don't think they are being used in the appropriate manner, but I can withdraw, or Mr. Ratovich can withdraw his motion, and then the second motion can be made. Thank you.
So then, President Whitener, I will make
Mr.
a
Hoffman.
motion that we approve both of these policies, policy AC, non-discrimination, equal opportunity, and policy GBA, equal employment opportunity, to align with federal and state statute by striking the protected classes that are listed in capital letters.
Second. Okay, so the words that are in caps will be excluded from the policy. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, 9.3. I move that the board approves the proposed amendment to regulation AC-R. And the change there is just the superintendent's designee and strongly encouraged versus should or retaliation. Is there any or we need a second?
Second.
Oh, thank you. Any questions, discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9.4 is the second read and approve of amendment of policy ACA, which is not the Affordable Care Act, it's just policy ACA, sexual harassment. 9.4 is similar to 9.2 in that the changes are in caps, if so moved.
So moved to approve with the striking of those words, the capitalized letters.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nine 9.5, the governing is more second reads. Policy GCF, professional staff hiring, and policy GDF, support staff hiring. I move that the board approve policy GCF and policy GDF with the exclusion of the capitalized words.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 President Whitener.
Mr. Hoffman.
I will move that we approve the second read and amendment of policy GDN, supervision of support staff, with the same exclusion to exclude the capitalized letters that do not align with state and federal statute.
A second.
Ms. Good, on GDN, was that the only reason why this one was brought back? I couldn't remember if we had, I think.
Well, it came back as it was just up as a first reading, but there's also the additional paragraph at the end that the supervisors wouldn't treat people differently, and it's on the basis of those which were identified above, so it would only be on the ones that are remaining. And I added a bunch of additional legal references there.
Okay, so the addition of the paragraph at the bottom is still applicable?
Yes.
With the, okay.
That covers whatever is named in that first paragraph.
Okay. Sorry, did we have a second on that? Yes.
Vice President Reese.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9.7 is a second read and approve amendment of policy GBEB.
President Whitener.
Mr. Hoffman.
I will move that we approve the second read and approve the amendment of policy GBEB, staff ethics and conduct, with the same exclusion to remove the capitalized letters, capitalized words that do not align with federal and state statute.
A second.
Ms. Good, on the drug-free school zone, are we just restating it from another policy, that nothing has changed in those pieces?
Anything that's underlined has, and I'm looking because there were a few
GBEB
changes that were made there. There was a, well, I'm confused because I'm looking at a copy that does not have any additional underlining about defining the drug-free school zone. I would ask you, okay, all right, I've got the wrong one, thank you. I don't have one of these fancy little tablets.
I just didn't know if there was anything that was changed that we need to make sure we get out to our district staff, unless the changes.
We put in a definition of the drug-free school zone because there was the obligation to report, but not everyone knows what that is. We also added a section on bullying. This corresponds with an addition that was made to one of the statutes that's applicable to students, and we also put it in there. And so it basically has the same language related to reporting, bullying, the same kind of language that is in the other policy, JICK, which was adopted a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I think that's it. Oh, and the child abuse has been added there. I was just trying to bring in all of the obligations to report and have them in one spot. They're still referenced in those other policies, but we've got one that includes them.
Okay.
Thank you for cleaning that up, Linda.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 9.8, we have an opportunity for the governing board, the Higley District Governing Board, to represent Arizona School Boards Association in their annual delegate assembly meeting on September 12th. I know September 12th, I will be attending the Arizona Family Council Conference. I think, Dr. Thomason, you're going to that as well. So if there are 2 volunteers that wish to go, or if a volunteer would like to go, that's more than welcome. I've been a few times in my days, but the opportunity is there. We did submit our legislative priorities for our district.
President Weiner, did you make a motion?
I don't know if there's necessarily a motion that we take a volunteer and then we can just vote on the volunteer.
Does it have to be a board member, or is it anybody from the district that can go?
It has to be a board member. So, or we could.
Have we typically sent someone to represent in the past?
Yeah. But
President Weiner, we are on a time frame on this, and so we do need to turn those names in by the end of the week. And so I believe it was something that would be prudent to get done tonight.
Could we have a discussion? I'd like to get more information before I make that commitment.
well, yes, and Ms. Walker, did you email out the delegate, the flyer and the day and where it's at?
Did we get a list of their final priorities?
Mm-mm. No. Mr. Witovich, it's usually a morning. They're usually done about noon or 1, and it's ASBA's Arizona School Board Association. All school board members from around the state come together, and they will set priorities of things that they want to be worked on for the coming year.
I'll check my schedule.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we actually have to vote on it, or if we have a volunteer, they can go? Okay.
I mean, I'd love to do it, but I've got a Six Sigma black belt course I'm taking, so.
It is a very busy day, and whatever, if we don't have an alternate, then the board can maybe use those funds for a sweet treat for someone.
President Whitener, I was just
Mr. Hoffman.
since it's an action item on the agenda, do we have to make some motion to accept board members to volunteer directly to the administration or something, since it's listed as action? Or can we just ignore it? Linda?
Whoever can volunteer and attend will specify and notify Ms. Walker if that's doable. And it's understandable if we, can't always have someone there. So thank you for considering that. All right. Any other future agenda items at this time?
President Whitener.
Mr. Hoffman.
So before we adjourn, I would like to quickly just make one comment. I understand it's out of order, but if you'll just bear with me. So I am incredibly sad to announce that this will be my last board meeting with the Higley Unified School District. I have, for family reasons, have had to move out of the district, and so as of the end of this month, will no longer be on the board. So I appreciate, to all of our principals, assistant principals, to our teachers, Mike, Shannon, Sheila, Steve, thank you so much for all the hard work that you guys put into this district. Like I've said time and time again, while we may disagree on the best way to get there, we're all pulling for the same thing. And so I respect you guys. I respect the job that you're doing. Even when I disagree, I still respect you guys immensely. Principals, assistant principals, specifically to you, thank you for the job that you guys are doing at our sites. I have enjoyed immensely getting to visit the schools, getting to talk with each of you, getting to meet your teachers and step in on classrooms and see it in action. Tyler is absolutely loving it this year at Santan. And so to Ray, I know he's not here, but excellent job to everybody. Seriously, hats off to you. So I will miss you all very much.
Thank you. We appreciate your service. And it's not an easy job. It's not easy to run. It's not as easy to be up here. And we know that. This is your last meeting. We can't bring you back for a clock.
Well, I will no longer be on the board as of the 31st. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. We will. I'll miss my seatmate here.
President Whitener.
Dr. Thomason.
I'd like to take this time to publicly thank Jake Hoffman for his time and service to the school board. You have been a mentor, you have been a friend, and you have been a delegate to this school district and this community. And so I wanted to publicly thank you for your time and commitment to the district. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. So with that, if there are no future agenda items, if I can make the final motion to adjourn for myself as a board member, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.